Dido Elizabeth Belle Lindsay was born in 1761, the natural daughter of Maria Bell, an enslaved African woman in the West Indies, and Captain Sir John Lindsay, a British Royal Navy officer. After the death of Dido's mother, Captain Lindsay takes Dido to England in 1765 and entrusts her to his uncle, William Murray, 1st Earl of Mansfield, the Lord Chief Justice, and his wife Elizabeth, who live at Kenwood House, an estate in Hampstead, outside London. Lord and Lady Mansfield raise Dido as a free gentlewoman alongside their niece, Lady Elizabeth Murray, who comes to live with them after her mother dies and her father remarries. When the two nieces reach adulthood, the Mansfields commission an oil portrait of them. However, Dido is reluctant to sit for it, fearing it will portray her as a subordinate. Like other portraits, she has seen depicting aristocrats with black servants. Dido's father dies, leaving her £2,000 a year. By contrast, Lady Elizabeth will have no income from her father, whose new wife has been named his sole heir. Arrangements are made for Elizabeth to have her coming out to society, but Lord and Lady Mansfield believe no gentleman will agree to marry Dido because of her mixed-race status. Lord Mansfield agrees to take a vicar's son, John Davinier, into an apprenticeship for law. In 1783, he hears the case of Gregson versus Gilbert regarding the payment of an insurance claim for enslaved Africans who were thrown overboard by the captain of a slave ship, an event now known as the Zong massacre. Dido helps her uncle with his correspondence, and after John tells her about the case, she secretly sneaks him documents, believing they will advance the abolitionist cause. Lord Mansfield and John have a disagreement about the case, and John is told not to see Dido again. Meanwhile, Lady Mansfield and Lady Mary Murray, Lord Mansfield's sister, attempt to arrange a match for Dido with Oliver Ashford, the younger son of a scheming grand dame. Oliver's older brother, the bigoted James Ashford, initially courts Elizabeth, but loses interest after discovering she will have no inheritance. Oliver proposes to Dido, and she accepts, even though she continues to see John. After James threatens Dido with violence, she confides in Elizabeth and decides to give part of her inheritance to her so she can find a suitable match. When Lord Mansfield discovers Dido's secret meetings with John, he confronts them both. During the argument, John confesses his love for Dido. Sometime later, Dido breaks off her engagement to Oliver. She is relieved when the commissioned portrait is unveiled, depicting her as Elizabeth's equal. She tells Lord Mansfield that the painting itself proves he can defy convention. Dido sneaks into the balcony of the Inn of Court to witness Lord Mansfield's ruling. He narrowly decides that the Gregson slave trading syndicate, based in Liverpool, is not entitled to insurance payments for the loss of the enslaved Africans. The ship's officers had claimed they were forced to throw them overboard due to a lack of potable water, but Mansfield determines that the captives were overcrowded, sick, and unlikely to fetch a high price at auction, making them worth more in insurance payments after their deaths. After the ruling, Lord Mansfield meets John and Dido outside the court and declares that Dido can only marry a gentleman. He then reinstates John's apprenticeship in law so that he may become one. On-screen text informs the viewer that Dido and John married and had 2 children, that Elizabeth also married and had children, and that the painting remained at Kenwood House until 1922, when it was moved to Scone Palace. Thank you for watching, and see you again in another movie.